Welcome today. Today I have a reaction of a death battle. The last one was pretty good with the Ash Ketchum one. Oh, look, even Nox did a reaction. It seems like a lot of people enjoying the reaction to those, which is fantastic. Um, I'm trying to pick out all the anime ones so that we can maybe do one or two a week. Of course, the ones I haven't seen, which I haven't really watched Death Battle for a couple years now. I was a big fan originally, like I said before, and a lot of people went in defense of Ash Ketchum against me. Uh, Dual Monsters were just superior in every way. They were very nice to Ash Ketchum in Death Battle, and I don't think they should have been as nice. I like Pokemon. I like dual monsters. There was no bias as far as that. I was an original Pokemon player, watcher. I had all 151 Pokemon on Blue. I had all 251 Pokemon on Silver. After the first two generations, I kind of got bored. Yu Gi Oh! I was around Yu Gi Oh! For a long time with dual monsters decks, but again, I got bored of it and I moved on. I still have my Dark Magician deck in my closet in good condition and everything. So, there was no bias on that. I stuck everything I said in that video. I stick to my opinion. Right, Yugi should have won a lot more than he won. But anyway, this I'm very less certain about. So I used to be a very big comic book reader and stuff before anime kind of went over that for me. So I've been watching anime since I was 6 years old, but I was also into Marvel and DC. DC I like way more, but I do know about the Spider-Man lore and how flexible and how strong Spider-Man can be. And I believe this is the Miles Morales one. I don't know which Spider-Man that they're talking about, but we will go into it. Again, this is Death Battle. We're gonna like um, because we are using the video. So Death Battle right here. Of course, I will post a link in the description of my video. But this is against Deku. I know a lot about Deku. I'm seen every episode of My Hero Academia, of course. It just ended recently, well, like within the last 2 weeks or something. So this is 5 months ago. So it doesn't have probably season 8 on it. However, they could have looked at the manga and because the manga was finished. So we will see. I can see why they pitted them against each other. They're both powerhouses. They're gonna have Deku at full strength with all his consciousness. It's gonna be an interesting battle. I want to lean on Deku. However, Spider-Man can be very, depending on which version of Spider-Man comes out, Spider-Man could win a lot of crafty ways. It's not so Spider-Man has the danger sense, of course. There is one Spider-Man that does not, but most Spider-Mans have the danger sense. And then there is, and I think I saw Miles Morales on the thing, so I think this is the one we're talking about. But I'm not sure. It could be Spider-Man 99 for all I know. It could be, Peter Parker. I assume that I saw Miles Morales, but we'll see. Um, but there's danger sense. Spider-Man has a lot more strength than you would think, depending on what Spider-Man, whether it's organic webs or special thread, synthetic thread. It could pose a problem. Of course, Deku has all these threads as well. Spider-Man, arguably, this is such a weird matchup. Spider-Man is super fast, but Deku is like the strongest weirder um of all for one. I keep on getting one for all. No, one for all. All for one is the bad power. One for all is the good power. I'm an expert at this, but sometimes when I'm like in my head canon, it's just I get the words mixed up. All right, but one for all wielder, as he is the final wielder of said power. Well, he's technically not the final wielder, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to ruin that. So, um, but yeah, okay. Let's see what they say. That's a long introduction.
Miles Morales
Okay,
versus
Miles
Ezekiel
Morales. There
Midori.
you go.
Spider.
Miles Morales. I know less about Miles Morales Spider-Man than he came later on and got popular later on. Now I have seen all the Spider verse movies. I think they're great. They're a great comeback to the series. But I like Peter Parker way more. Even in that series, I like Peter Parker more. But he's a decent Spider-Man. He's not the most powerful Spider-Man in my opinion, but I don't know what the comic books say. Disney owns Marvel now. Maybe they made him the strongest Spider-Man. So I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage in my superhero knowledge at this point. If you asked me 10 years ago, I would have given you the details and had the receipts. But I'm much more into anime now, so I have much more receipts on this guy than I do this guy. So
Man versus Deku. He's Wiz and I'm
I
Boomstick.
used to keep up with so many trends. So I've always been obsessed with anime, but I've also used to keep up with Star Wars. Like I can tell you every lightsaber stance. I can tell you and who weirded them and like all the Star Wars like history and stuff. And then Disney destroyed it. Marvel and DC. DC, Warner Brothers did a really good job at wrecking that, both in the TV shows and movie verse. Although I have high hopes, Superman was pretty good. Um, I do have to. So I'm more of a DC expert than I am a Marvel expert. But Marvel has gone downhill so much, so quickly that I have lost interest and I have not kept up with Marvel in 8 years, other than the Spider Verse movies. That's it. Not opened one single comic book. Not looked into the lore at all. That's it. So, and I did watch the Avengers Endgame and stuff. I love those movies, but Avengers is full of B heroes. They weren't even important in the comic books till Disney bought Marvel. Like, okay, except for Captain America. Captain America has always been important, but still,
And it's our job
he's
to
my
analyze
favorite
their weapons,
in
armor,
the
and
Marvel.
skills to find out who would win a death battle.
All right, let's take this from the top again. This is Peter Parker.
Yeah,
he was
my
bitten
favorite
by
one.
a
But,
radioactive
of course,
spider,
it's most
and for
people's
who knows
favorite
how
one.
long, he's been the one and only Spider-Man.
A friendly neighbor to all of New York City.
I also thought Andrew Garfield played him best from what I always imagined Spider-Man as a kid. Andrew Garfield was my Spider-Man. And also, he's not the first Spider-Man. I was there with Tobey Maguire on day one. But Andrew Garfield, I loved his Spider-Man. And also, when they brought him back for Spider-Man 3, I flipped out in the theater. I was one of those people that screamed.
In a universe filled with super soldiers, hulking green Goliaths, and world-shattering gods, Spider-Man is there to look out for the little guy.
But in a multiverse
Spider-Man
of
can be
infinite
beaten, though.
possibilities, that doesn't always last forever.
But so
like
can
in
Deku.
Universe 1610, when NYC's Webhead got iced on the job.
The city was left without its protector. But fortunately, Peter wasn't the only one who got bit. Enter Miles Morales, a young teen from Brooklyn just trying to figure out his place in the world. And now he had it thrust upon him.
The canon event to start all canon events.
All right, let's take a look at this and see if we can derive who will win, because I am less certain about this than the Pokemon one for sure. Age 17, so him and Deku are pretty close to age. Miles Morales, I'm pretty sure I used Morales when we started. If I didn't, I apologize, because I presented myself as an expert in Marvel, but my expertise is long gone. I'm still in the old days, guys. Height 5'8", graffiti artist. He's not really a graffiti artist. That's like a hobby, but okay. Herald of Insane Teams Champions Ultimates Avengers. I mean, I would feel better if they listed as like hobby here. He's not like recognized as a graffiti artist, is he? Oh, like so he actually likes anime. That's funny. Likes Naruto DBZ. I wonder where they got pulled this from. I just wondered in Gwen. JoJo's DBZ Naruto. Like those can't mean anything but anime and JoJo's Wild or Bizarre Adventure, and then Gwen, of course. It's really funny that a voice actor that plays Miles got in so much trouble because he actually fell in love with like real Gwen, like her voice actress, but she's in a committed relationship with someone else. I'm not sure what the committed relationship, and they almost fired him over this. Like he wouldn't let it go. Um, but yeah, it was no, no, did I get that wrong? Let's look that up real quick, because I don't want to say something that's wrong. That happened on something like that happened on Dan to Dan too, and I'm not. No, it didn't happen on Dan to Dan. That was something else. Oh, it was him. It had to be be Miles, because the Dan situation was different. Miles, voice actor, Spider-Man in trouble for not leaving Gwen alone. Yes, Ward, the voice actor for Miles, film has faced significant controversy in the line related to his interactions with co-star Haley's Gwen Stacy and other females. So inappropriate behaviors, reports from across. Okay, making her visibly in social media posts with news engagement to NFL player Josh Allen Book. Moore posted a criticism that was many interpreted him. He later clarified he was unaware she was engaged, but post generated more issued apology video. Okay, so I don't know if he's in love with Gwen. I don't want to make the assumption, but I remember reading about this, and it was very I read about this when it happened, and they insinuated that, but again, they could be insinuating. I don't want to blame someone for something they're not guilty of. It just looks highly suspicious, as we can see. But again, I don't know. He got in a lot of trouble. I heard that he almost got fired, but again, I don't know for sure. Almost got fired? I don't know if the internet would even know that, right? That's eternal things, but things leak all the time. Sin for and lack of boundaries. He's come. Okay, so there are others that he's engaged. Not fired despite the backlash. He was not fired. Counts for period, possibly for Sony and controversy subside. Apologies. Some sources suggest that it may have slightly delayed aspects of the film. Was okay. So, we have no idea. He didn't get fired though. So, again, I don't ever want to say something that's untrue about someone. That's why we went and looked it up, just in case I was thinking of another voice actor or whatever, but I wasn't. So I heard he almost got fired, but that is 100% like can't find the data on it. So that probably isn't true, or someone would have leaked it. But we just don't know. Okay, we just know that there was a controversy, and he made an apology video. Okay, all right. Dislikes Canon events, GameSpot, and Canon events. I love Canon events. Or maybe that's a company. When I say Canon, it's like Canon to the comic book or something. GameSpot, Paul. Okay.
Now it was Miles' turn to be the hero the Big Apple needed, and he had all the usual spider kit to help him out.
This spider carried the Oz formula, a genetics-enhancing serum that granted Miles superhuman strength, speed, and the ability to alter his body's electron attraction to crawl along any surface.
And you can't forget that classic spider sense, an internal warning system that lets Miles know about incoming threats so he can react ahead of time. He even got an upgrade that acts like a radar, letting him see through stuff.
But no spider person is complete without their web shooters. Given to him by Peter's Aunt May, these webs have all sorts of applications between swinging, grabbing, restraining, projectiling, and being made into constructs.
Not having Peter around to show him the ropes made things a lot tougher though. And between mishaps with wall crawling and
I want to take a look at that list real quick. Again, I'm trying to figure out if he's going to be like what his specialties are. Venom. Okay, so this is when he has venom powers. I don't remember in the movies if does he have venom powers. It's been a long time since I saw the Spider-Verse. Well, they're probably just taking it from comic books and stuff too.
Between
I don't
swinging,
remember him
grabbing,
having venom powers
restraining,
yet.
projectiling, and being made into constructs.
not having Peter around to show him the ropes made things a lot tougher though. And between mishaps with wall crawling and web slinging, Miles got off to a rocky start.
Like any typical teenager, he had a lot of self-doubt. Could he keep up in school? What was the right way to talk to girls?
And how could he live up to being Spider-Man when one of the villains he had to face turned out to be his very own uncle? Makes family dinner so awkward. All that, trying to kill you stuff.
Fortunately, Miles had a leg up on every other superhero known to man.
Living parents! Better yet, loving parents. They supported him when things got tough, even if they didn't always see eye to eye. And thanks to them, he learned that the best way to be Spider-Man wasn't to do it like Peter, but to do it his own way.
And it helped that this particular spider had a bit more to its bite than Peter's. Miles has a variety of unique powers, like invisibility and venom.
I do remember the invisibility though. There was some other Spider-Mans that have invisibility too. But yeah, Miles has it.
Hardy, though it is weird to give your main power the same name as one of your bad guys. Come on, Spidey, branding is important.
Miles can harness his own bioelectric energy and weaponize it, which is especially effective against individuals
I don't know
with
if I
genetic
remember that, but-
mutations.
Punching, absorbing, blasting, mega blasting. Hell, he can even make electric constructs out of this stuff. Like
So is that
bioweapon
enough
and
to
a
take
damn
out
sword.
Deku?
Jeez, what kind of spider was this?
It's not entirely science fiction. Studies have shown that certain species of spiders, such as the Linophiidae, have a process known as ballooning. By spinning a thread of their silk, they can use the
I do know ballooning well. They use the silk as a balloon, and the air blows them to where they're going, and they can practically fly. They just, and then they just drop off wherever they want to.
natural electric fields to fly, traveling up to hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Well, whatever kind of bite it was.
By the way,
it
those
gave
spiders can catch small birds. No joke.
Miles the edge he needed to find his worth as Spider-Man.
Miles can dodge gunshots, missiles, and lightning bolts. He survived all sorts of beatings,
That's if they're desperate, though. They don't. Birds are not their favorite thing to eat.
including a building exploding on top of him.
Oh, geez, Spidey could lift buildings and
And
dodge
there's a chance that the bird, somehow gets them off, and the spider flies away. But then the bird has venom crawling all over it. So it just depends. The spider doesn't normally go after the bird, but if the spider is starving, then the spider may be inclined to go after the bird.
light speed attacks, and Miles is more than a match for him.
Like the time he absorbed the energy of a bomb that was going to vaporize Harlem. A blast that would have equaled 15 million tons.
Now, I don't think the spider could catch the bird unless the bird was unawares. So that's the bird flies faster than the spider flies.
of TNT.
Probably.
Kudos from a
I don't know that for sure.
of older heroes too, becoming a member of the New Ultimates and the Avengers. He even helped form the Champions, a team of teenage superheroes with the likes of Miss Marvel and Ironheart.
The king of Wakanda himself even suited him up with some Wakandan vibranium.
The same stuff as T'Challa's own suit. This super rare and tough metal can absorb kinetic energy and vibrational impacts.
It helps to regulate Miles's venom powers too, allowing him to better control his electrical output.
The vibranium is thinner to better fit his acrobatic fighting style, but it can still shake off most fatal attacks like they're nothing. This stuff is tough enough that Deadpool's swords have shattered against it.
Though it's not as durable as, say, Captain America's shield, and enough kinetic energy will overload it.
Don't be near it when it...
Yep, and even though Spider-Man is very versatile in the damage he takes, and he has like super healing and stuff, there is a limit to it, and you can knock Spider-Man out or kill him. A fully professional Spider-Man is very hard to beat. However, it's not impossible. It's hard though.
Does, or you'll end up like the Falcon here when he used his vibranium wings to stop a bomb that was gonna blow up
not
New York
fighting
City.
Superman.
That's twice now. Does any other city have
But
to
it's a
deal with
lot
this
harder
stuff?
than
When
they
vibranium
make
and
it seem.
spider powers still aren't enough, Miles can push his electrical output into overdrive.
Giving him huge boosts in strength and speed, and making him a whole lot zappier. It's your classic shonen power-up, and he knows it too. He's a bit of a weak...
Yeah, so I didn't realize he liked anime, and I also, maybe I wasn't paying attention in the movies. I don't know. I didn't play his video game. I own his video game. I didn't play it. I didn't like the first Spider-Man, even though everyone in the world liked it. It was very happy and go lucky next to the Batman Arkham games, okay? And I'm more of a Batman fan than I am a Spider-Man fan. And I disagree with Death Battle that Batman would lose against Spider-Man. Kinda. The reasoning was pretty solid, to tell you the truth. If Spider-Man and Batman Man in Dark Alley, Spider-Man would have a chance to win. If Batman had prep time, Spider-Man doesn't have a chance. And that was the reasoning. I 80% agree with that. I think Batman might still have a chance on winning just because he's able to adapt. But you know what? It's something I can't really disagree with. So I watched that one like years and years and years ago, and I remember being upset, but I remember that I couldn't say that they were wrong. Like, I couldn't make the comment, and because I was an expert at comic books back then, I was all like, it's plausible. It's plausible.
And has a thing for mimicking some favorites.
Despite his initial insecurities, Miles has more than managed to live up to his predecessor. No longer standing in the shadow, but side by side.
Literally, his universe got blown up and he was sent to the main 6 timeline, along with his family. And now it's him and Peter as a pair of Spider Bros.
He's even become one of the big players of the Spider-Verse, teaming up with all sorts of other...
Yeah. If we're talking about the movie, he's like the newbie, and I don't know how he stacks up against everyone. Now, it was impressive when he was flying through all of them, and they were all trying to catch him, and he was able to get out. It's impressive. So, but won an Oscar, defeated the... Won an Oscar? Why is this here? Did the movie win an Oscar? And if the movie won an Oscar, it doesn't matter. Saved an alternate universe from evil clones, stopped the interiors, and saved the web of life. Dodged missiles, like, okay, that's significant. Took hits from giant woman. That's for durability reasons. Yes, that happened, and that is important for, can Deku punch him enough? Can All Might's punch be bigger than giant woman? I think there is enough manga material to prove that, because there is a giant woman in My Hero Academia who is not as strong as All Might. And Deku is stronger than All Might. Like, his kicks are stronger than All Might's fists. But we will see.
Spider variants to defend the multiverse.
There's anime spider people, robot spider people, dinosaur
I
spider.
did remember the anime girl, and I think
All
she
sorts of other spider
and she
variants to
was so
defend the
cool.
multiverse.
I wish we saw more of her. Like, this character popped out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, let's have more of her. Just because she's anime, I don't think she's actually, like, drawn that well or anything, but I do like the anime throwback.
Spider people, robot spider people, dinosaur spider people, spider people, a whole lot of them, each with their own way of getting the job done. Miles even led them into battle against the Inheritors, a bunch of interdimensional vampire assholes.
This is what
I don't
Stanley was
remember this,
proudest
but
of in his favorite
I'm sure I'm sure it happened and everything, but I'm unaware of this moment. It's probably happened after I quit reading.
superhero. Regardless of who they were,
Stan Lee's favorite superhero. Yeah, I did know that.
sort of person could wear the mask and do the right thing. For so long as we stay true
Your
to
neighborhood
ourselves and help others
Spider-Man.
in our own unique ways,
Your friendly
then
neighborhood
anyone
Spider-Man.
can be a hero.
Yep. Friendly
But what
neighborhood
is
Spider-Man.
a hero?
Here we
To
go.
the citizens of Japan, there was no
I know
one
a lot more
synonymous
about
with the
this
word
guy.
than their symbol of peace. All Might.
The
Now,
big
Deku
hero.
is very beatable, and I would not be surprised if Deku loses. I'm not gonna say this, but because I didn't see anything that's overwhelming for Deku, I'm on Team Deku for this. I would not be surprised that Deku wins either. Like I said, it's really hard for Spider-Man because I know a lot about Spider-Man, but there's so much I don't know about Spider-Man that's come up in the last decade or so, I'm sure. So I'm just I'm not sure the power level. I know Spider-Man is very durable. I know Spider-Man is stronger than he looks by a lot. I know that Spider-Man is very acrobatic, hard to catch. Danger sense is huge. And now Deku does have danger sense as well. So it could cancel out, which actually makes me more on Deku's side because danger sense is one of Spider-Man's best powers to beat someone stronger than him.
Uno, with a smile on his face, he could save anyone and win any fight, no matter what.
Or so it seemed. After a battle with his arch nemesis All For One, All Might was grievously injured. His time as a beacon of hope was coming to an end, and he would need to find someone to pass on the torch.
In this world, most human
Okay,
beings
because I
evolve.
can throw this in. All Might's power is derived from All For One, which is one for all, and basically, and this is a short little tidbit. I know there's more nuance in it, so if you say you're not exactly right on that, I'm keeping it short on purpose. Okay, so basically, how the power works is that each bearer of the power cultivates it over time, and you can also inherit the quirks of the wielders that came before. So this is a passable quirk, and it can pass other people's quirks that they got from birth onto the next wielder, and so on and so on and so on by the spirit versions of the other wielders. Now, Deku possesses all of these things, but also the original quirk of All For One. No, One For All. His original quirk of One For All is gets stronger every time it's passed. So the strength that it brings, the natural power, speed, all the stuff that it brings, it all gets souped up by the time it passes on. By the time Deku has it, a human body can barely take it. In fact, Deku was speculated to be the final wielder of One For All because the next wielder, the human body, probably couldn't take another wielder. Now, again, I'm not going to spoil the end for you guys or anything like that, but
To have their own individual superpowers, or quirks, but not everyone is lucky enough to get one. Like this kid named Izuku Midoriya, or as local bully Bakugo like to call him, the good-for-nothing Deku.
Izuku wanted to save people just like All Might.
Deku was
but
a slain, by the way. By the way, if you guys do watch My Hero Academia, the first 3 seasons are 10 out of 10. The 4th season is important, but it kind of missed me. I thought half of the 5th season was boring. I thought the other half was great. I thought the 6th season was great. I thought the 7th season was great. And of course, the 8th season's just the final up. And for what it was pretty great. So, I mean, overall, this is a top tier anime. I think it's fantastic. But but there is definitely some down points in the seasons for sure. Mostly between 4 and 5, in my opinion. Real name, age 16, 24. Okay, so they're within a year apart. Professional teacher, part-time hero. Oh, are we? Oh, profession teacher, part-time hero. They must be talking about like what he does in the epilogue. Okay, because he was full-time, student hero during the series. Okay, alias one for all hero. Deku. Well, his hero name is actually Deku, but okay. Possesses 7 quirks. Not gonna spoil. Favorite food. I did not know that. Romantic interest. Oh, one of them. It's pretty obvious who his romantic interest is by like episode 5 of the series. So.
And his idol told him that he would have to give up on his dreams.
Forever the beta male in the shadow of Bakugo and his Sigma quirk, until he got the chance to alpha up and lend his rival a helping hand, proving himself worthy of All Might's torch.
And so after months of training, Izuku was granted All Might's quirk, one for all. This power allows him to boost his strength to incredible heights, using it for smashing attacks named after specific US locales and a soccer club.
Or
technically, it doesn't have to be US locales. That's just what All Might did, because he took some time to study in the US, and we face All for One, who is the arch villain and named after his own power or quirk. But he trained in the U.S. to take him on for some time while he was hiding out, and so that's why All Might uses all his moves is like U.S. based. By the way, this it's very funny in case you guys didn't know that anime and manga came from the U.S. Influence in Japan while they were rebuilding during World War II, or at the end of World War II when they were rebuilding the cities that got bombed, right? The U.S. came in, rebuilt the cities for free for Japan, and the U.S. workers mingled with the locals, and they brought comic books with them, like Superman and Batman and all kinds of comic books, right? The Japanese people fell in love with these comic books, and thus we have manga, which means Japanese comic book, and anime comes from manga, and so on and so forth. The only outlier to this would be that Gundam started in the 1940s, but you can say that they weren't anime or manga back then because manga literally got started in like 1966 due to the U.S. helping Japan rebuild and things like that. So this whole series is like a love letter to the U.S., and that's why they had All Might stay in America for a period of time and like use New Hampshire Smash or United States of Smash. It was actually kind of a love letter saying thank you, America, for helping us make this industry, or coming up, or thank you for helping us come up with the idea for this industry and stuff. I think it's very sweet.
football, as they call it.
Straight punches, spikes, even finger flicks. One for All is the ultimate in strength-enhancing quirks.
The first time he used it, Izuku destroyed this giant robot in a single blow.
True.
On accident. Too bad it wasn't the only thing he destroyed, though.
It just depends. Is Spider-Man's durability stronger than this giant robot? Now, we're gonna say yes. I think it's obvious. We're talking about comic books here. 2 comic books because manga is Japanese comic. It means Japanese comic book. So you can say that a comic book and a manga logic in this sense for these 2 series can be very similar.
It hurts.
One for All's power was so great that the recoil would shatter Izuku's limbs when he used it. In the hands of an improper vessel, One for All could cause their body to explode. So Izuku would need to continuously...
The problem would be, is Izuku fast enough to catch Spider-Man? Now, I think he is. But maybe they'll tell me he's not. We'll see. I need to see the little math on it.
trained to master it at his Hero Academia.
I don't even know. Do they do the math anymore on these? I don't like. I did the Pokemon one 3 weeks ago. I don't remember a large math segment, but maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I feel like they would. There was a debunk death battle thing that like goes into the math and everything too, and I only seen like 5 episodes from them, right? But I do know there's a debunk channel somewhere out there.
Again.
UA High.
Here he'd be inspired by Girly Pop Uraraka to turn his zero name into his hero name, becoming the Deku who always does his best.
Something that
The
he
Deku
may
who
have
always
taken
does
too
his
far.
best.
When it came to saving people, Do Your Best here had a bad habit of putting others way before himself. Sure, everyone else was okay.
Now
but he'd be
Deku's
good for nothing all over it.
Deku used to hurt himself all the time because his body could not handle the power. Now that is not the case anymore. They're gonna put Prime Deku. I assume it's the same death battle rules it's been forever, right? They're gonna put Prime Deku against Prime Spider-Man at their peaks. So Deku is not going to be hurting himself anymore in this death battle. I assume. If they do, I'm calling that out as like not accurate, but we'll see.
Again, if he got himself paralyzed.
So to cut down on his hospital bill, he
So here's a weakness for Deku I can already see already. Even with Deku at full power, he does have a limit. Spider-Man limit may outshine Deku. It just depends if Spider-Man can outlast Deku. I think this fight is if Deku can win in his time limit, then Deku wins. But if Spider-Man can outlast Deku's time limit, then Spider-Man wins. It just, I don't see them taking each other out like in 5 seconds, but I do think Deku can catch Spider-Man. So, we'll see.
developed full cowl.
Again, I don't know Spider-Man's max speed anymore. Like, it's been a long time.
Instead of using his quirk in short bursts, he would continuously spread the energy across his body at low percentages.
And we're talking about a Spider-Man that I am not fully aware of his power level. Now, I did remember offhand reading, so I don't know if it's true, that Miles Morales is the strongest out of all the Spider-Mans. I don't know if this is true, okay? But I did remember reading that in an article, and they said he's stronger than Peter Parker. And Spider-Man, I keep on forgetting, 99 or whatever. I don't remember, okay? So if that's the case, he's fighting the strongest Spider-Man, which I don't know that Spider-Man's power level at all. I only know certain aspects of his powers.
Badex, inspired by Bakugo's explosive movements.
And with that new thinking came a new fighting style. Shoot style. To use a stronger limb that'd be less likely to break, Deku took a page from Nerd Emoji Ida's book and switched to focusing on kicks to pack in more of a punch. Yeah.
By the way, I think that was so cool for the series because All Might always punched and he kicks. I also I wish they would have like had more time like perfecting that style and like the differences in Midoriya's moves versus All Might's moves. I wish there was a little bit more of that, but again, we got what we got. So
And that power would be needed. After a climactic battle with All for One, All Might would be forced into retirement, just a few months into Deku's training. Now it was his turn to face this demon lord.
But he didn't have to do it alone, just as All Might had passed One for All.
I do feel, and maybe it's just me, I feel like it happened too soon. I feel like it needed to be the 4th or 5th season this happened, just for pacing in my head. And then you have one season off, and then you have like the war happen or something. I mean, we got pretty close to that pacing, but you have to remember this happened really close at the beginning of season 3. I think it was like episode 9 through 12, right? And I feel like that was just a little bit too soon. That's not even halfway in the series, right? So I feel like it should have gone on just a little bit longer, or the end of season 3. I feel like it would have been better. Now, the anime can't do anything about it. That's where they were in the manga. But I feel like that needed that should have happened.
Onto Deku.
Somehow.
It had been passed onto Arthur by his master, and onto her by her master. One for All was a power that was built upon for generations.
The quirks of the previous users of One for All manifested in Deku, along with their spirits, or vestiges, to help him in his battle against All for One.
Black Whip gives him energy tendrils to swing around and restrain foes. They can also...
He also has more heads than Spider-Man. Like, they can come up with plans and see weaknesses, which, again, puts me on Team Deku. Like, Deku has a lot going for him in this fight. There's, like, it's 9 brains thinking about this versus... It's like 9 on 1. But again, that doesn't mean Deku automatically wins. But I do think this gives Deku an edge. He also has an ability like Webs, the black whip, which he uses to swing around, just like Spider-Man does, which is probably why they pitted each. It's probably the danger sense. They both have one. And it's probably the black whip and web, which is what made them think about pitting these two together.
his arms and manually control his muscles if he can't move.
Float allows him to soar high into the sky. By combining it with controlled blasts of pressurized air, he can effectively fly.
Danger Sense detects incoming threats and unease, letting Deku react in advance, though it's mostly like an alarm bell.
Well, you know, they didn't... well, it's like an alarm bell, but we saw in the fight that it's effective. When Danger Sense gets stolen from him, Deku has a really hard time fighting the enemy that stole Danger Sense because they can predict his movements. So Danger Sense becomes like a very important power, and it evolves the more you understand how to use it. In that way, it's more versatile than Spider-Man's, but Spider-Man's is on par with it. And then, yeah, Deku can also fly. Deku also is strong enough to break Spider-Man's webs, in my opinion, as well. Team Deku.
And doesn't tell him specifics like location or number of threats. Familiar?
Yeah, if they didn't talk about Spider-Man's Danger Sense I mentioned, I feel like that might be important. If they did, I just missed it, right? So, I just feel like they didn't talk about it that much. And if they didn't do that, then that might be the determining factor. We'll see.
Screen. But he can use it at full blast to create a bigger smoke screen.
That's swell and all, but the real meat is in Fajin. After building up kinetic energy within his...
Okay, so here's a difference too, and I'm gonna say this. Deku does defeat his enemy, even though his enemy steals, and again, I'm not trying to spoil, but steals Danger Sense from him. So Deku has actually beat an opponent that has Danger Sense. I feel like that's a winning factor too. Now, Spider-Man probably has defeated enemies like it in the past too, but I feel like we have a real-life example of Deku beating someone with his dangers, like using his Danger Sense against him. Also, his vestiges can play with Danger Sense as well. So, we'll see.
Buddy, Deku can unleash it for bursts of strength and speed.
He's combined it with Black Whip to create the powerful Black Chain binding attack, and can use it in conjunction with Full Cowling to achieve foe 100%, equaling All Might's full level of power without any recoil.
He once used it to outspeed a bullet shot by Lady Nagant, a former hero
True.
turned villain who has a sniper rifle for an arm. I think I'm in love.
Nagant's bullet once crossed a distance of around 215 kilometers within a fraction of a second. That's 6,700 times faster
I do
than
think
sound. And
that's
Deku
why I
moving
was
so
saying
fast,
that he
the
can
bullet
catch
seemed like it was standing
Spider-Man.
still. And he can
But
go
again,
even
I don't know
faster than that
Spider-Man's
with his
max speed, but Deku's fast.
Final quirk, gear shift.
By touching a target, he can control its speed without abiding by the laws of inertia. He can slow down foes to leave them frozen in the air, or move so fast he can punch multiple times in an instant.
Even All for One's own protege Shigaraki couldn't track him, and this is a
I
dude
feel like this may be an upset because the way they're glazing Deku so hard compared to Spider-Man, but we'll see. I don't know.
who can catch light speed laser beams.
It does have a time limit though. After
It does.
5 minutes of continuous use, Deku's body will catch up to his speed.
By the way, this is one of the reasons why I said the fight is a time limit, whether Deku can win in a time limit versus Spider-Man outlasting him. I said this earlier in the video that this may be determine the fight, and they're showing what I was saying.
Suffocating him as his cells become unable to take in oxygen.
Not nearly as bad as One for All was suffocating him, though. He's been doing all of this shit in just the 10th grade. I hadn't even figured out you can breathe through your nose at that point.
The pressure of having to save his friends, the country, the entire world weighed on Deku. So he left UA to fight this war alone.
But alone was never where Deku fought best. Having come from nothing, his admiration for his peers gave him strength, just as they admired his strength and desire to help
Took all
others.
of them to
Even
subdue his
Bakugo came
weakened
around to
self.
him.
So when it came time to finally put that Demon Lord back in cell, his classmates, teachers, mom, friends, enemy, and everyone else supported and cheered him on. Because that was the greatest threat to All for One's reign all along.
Not All Might, not Deku, not even One for All itself. Just people helping each other out. And with their help, Deku defeated All for One once and for all, blowing a hole in this huge storm and parting the skies for a brighter future.
Though he did lose his quirk and have to retire from hero work,
He did.
getting a regular 9 to 5 as a teacher, passing on his
Yeah, so
knowledge
they
to
were
the
talking
next
about that
generation,
blog when
just
they
like
said
every user
teacher.
of One for All before him.
Some
I was
might
like,
say
I was
he
a little
peaked in high
confused.
school. If not for the sick new armor he eventually got to go back to kicking butt,
He
even
does,
made it
yeah.
all the way back near the top of the rankings.
He's
All
basically
with the help
Batman.
of his friends. For so long as we keep reaching out our hands to help those in need, everyone can be a hero. Hello.
All right,
it's
we'll
me,
let them do the
Store-Bought
commercial.
Benjamin. I know what you're asking. Benjamin, what are you wearing?
Dummy thick.
Yes, that's our Mechanical Menace Mecha Goose pulling down the trunks of poor Dummy. Our new summer line of merch is available now
Didn't
on
he get hit by that,
deathmetal.gg for a limited time. Website
gun
members
that
can
makes
even
him
get
not
this in a
exist
unique
anymore?
color scheme. And there's a hat. Hat. I know what else you're asking. Benjamin,
was like the Doctor
why did
Who
Wiz
battle,
build
what?
robot butt cheeks on Dummy? I don't know.
By the way, the Doctor one.
Get your cheeks at www.deathmetal.gg.
We may watch that just because I am the Doctor, but just for funsies, I have seen that. But
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data.
that's the
through all
one battle
possibilities.
that I saw in the last 5 years, I think, before I started doing these.
Oh!
Ooh, the
More man and less spider than usual.
I'm not gonna lie, the animation is sick. Like, this is great. I love it. It took me a minute to comprehend it. Like, it was so beautiful. Yep. See, Deku does this just like Spider-Man, which is one of the main reasons I feel like they pitted them against each other, plus danger sense. They both have one, so.
Man and less spider than usual.
Whoa, I was looking for you. Care to show me what you can do?
Okay, Deku's voice sounds like Mickey Mouse drunk, okay? I'm not gonna lie, the voice is way off, and I just feel like he's gonna be like, oh, come on, Mickey. Or no, come on, Minnie. I can't do it because I'm sick, but I have a perfect Mickey Mouse voice. Stupid flu. But anyway, I was saying that sounds like just a total drunk Mickey Mouse. Like, the voice isn't as high or anything, but that is a terrible Deku voice. Sorry for who has ever doing it. I understand, but no.
Yo! You're more man and less spider than usual.
Whoa, I was looking for you.
Sounds like
show me
Mickey
what you can
Mouse.
do?
So bad.
All right, new guy. First lesson? Don't watch the mouth.
You know what? I bet you. So they had a Mickey Mouse versus Yoda, and by the way, I guessed that one right. That was years and years ago. That was Yoda versus Mickey Mouse. I'm not going to tell you the winner, but maybe this is the guy that played that Mickey Mouse. I wouldn't be surprised.
Watch the hands.
Now watch mine, Delaware!
Let me rewind it. I'm sorry, guys.
Let's try that one more time.
I will try to not like really pause during like going forward. So
Yo! You're more man and less spider than usual.
Whoa, I was looking for you. Care to show me what you can do?
All right, new
Let's do
guy.
this.
First lesson? Don't watch the mouth. Watch
Okay.
the hands.
yep, danger sense.
Mine, Delaware!
That was the use of danger sense when he was in history. I still like this animation, even though you can see the weaknesses in it a little bit now. But I like it. That's not gonna catch. That's not gonna keep Deku in place.
I can't use my full power here. Gotta take this somewhere else.
Oh, look at Deku still being a hero.
You got skills, man. I like that.
It's weird because Miles isn't caring about the town, but Miles is not that strong normally. So, like as raw power anyway.
I moved us to an abandoned part of the city so we can go all out. Because I always do my best.
Oh, that's funny. This is so well done. The animation, anyway. We'll see how I feel after the battle. If Spider-Man wins, I really want to know why. If Deku wins,
I'm gonna do my best.
I understand why.
I gotta do my own thing.
This is the My Hero symbolism right here part.
Sarah was right. Your quirk is amazing.
Amazing is my buddy. They call me the ultimate Spider-Man.
His suit has shock absorption, not nullification. So, it's got a limit.
Psycho. Death Bang!
Go beyond!
Are they having Spider-Man absorb his attack? I don't know if it works like that.
Spider-Man, you really are the ultimate.
Look, I know I paused, and the battle doesn't seem like it's over yet, but we will see. The music kind of dulled off. I don't know if Spider-Man absorbs that attack. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's kinetic energy, but I don't know. Wait, they didn't have Spider-Man kill him? Like, Deku... I kind of had a feeling Spider-Man would win. Because they really glazed Deku, and they didn't glaze Spider-Man that much. And sometimes they throw you off that way, and I've seen it happen before. I had a nagging feeling that Spider-Man would win. However, I picked my team. It's the first time I lost in a long, long time. We're gonna see why I lost, and I don't know if I agree. We also didn't see Deku use his vestiges at all. I feel like there was a lot more that we didn't see Deku do. And again, I can't speak on the Spider-Man side. I really can't. Why didn't they kill each other? But I do not think this is how this battle goes. and it's not just because I lost. I feel like Spider-Man would have talked to his vestiges. I feel like they would have came up with something. But there was none of that. I feel like we did not get the battle we were promised. This is my opinion.
Vaya con Dios, Aranya Hoven.
Let's start by talking about their superpowers,
Okay, let's
matched
see.
up quite evenly. Unsurprisingly, given the not-so-subtle inspiration for Deku's quirks, though they did have some edges over the other.
The Spider Sense gave Miles more insight on his surroundings and threats than Danger Sense, which has been worked around before.
Danger Sense has been beaten before, but only by, like, Deku, who figured out how to do it, and he used his vestiges to do so. Like, 9 different people, they were able to trick Danger Sense. So I don't know if that is... I don't know if I agree with them on this.
This meant Miles's invisibility was harder for Danger Sense to detect when he wasn't attacking, while the Spider Sense's radar system...
Yes, I do agree with
Deku
that. Like, when Danger Sense has a limited range compared to Spider-Man's version, right? There has to be, like, killer intent and stuff like that, so...
Smokescreen, but Izuku's other quirks granted him advantages of his own.
Again, we
Was a
didn't
lot more
use the
mobile weapons,
vestiges.
And Fa-Jin gave a bigger boost in strength than Venom did. Since both had some advantages and disadvantages, we're gonna call superpowers a tie.
Next up, speed. Scaling to Peter, Miles...
I don't know if I call that. Remember, I was very favorable on Spider-Man winning if he could outlast Deku. However, again, by not showing the vestiges, I feel like we got an incomplete fight here. That's why I feel like I'm sure we're going to get obliterated in the comments for it. However, I don't feel like we got the fight we were promised.
could dodge light speed attacks, which actually outpaced Izuku moving faster than that sniper bullet. Fortunately for Deku though, that wasn't his best.
Thanks to Gear Shift, Deku could speed himself up to match Miles.
Again, there's a time limit, 5 minutes on this power.
Even worse for Spidey, one touch from Gear Shift could freeze him in place and make dodging totally impossible. So speed goes to Deku.
As for skill, Deku was incredibly talented at analyzing an opponent's abilities and coming up with strategies on the fly.
We didn't
But
see that in
Miles'
this fight.
powers and fighting style gave Deku few immediate openings.
Deku may have received more formal training at UA, but he was ultimately only active in hero work for a little under a year.
Meanwhile, Miles
That
is
doesn't matter. He fought a whole war. Okay. Now, there's no like Miles at his full power. I'm sure he has a lot more experience than Deku and stuff. But Deku fought the greatest villain of all time plus his protege. It's just
handling
Okay.
everything from neighborhood crooks to multiverse-ending gods for significantly longer.
It's close, but with his greater experience, skill goes to Miles, and that means the biggest deciding factor is raw strength.
And that was no contest. Miles absorbing the energy of that bomb was nothing to scoff at, but overwhelming power is what One for All is all about.
When Deku defeated All for One, the energy needed to part those clouds with this punch had a yield of 362 billion tons of TNT, smashing the bomb Miles absorbed out of the water.
But it wasn't as simple as that. Miles is wearing a vibranium suit after all. So the question wasn't necessarily who was stronger, it was if Miles' suit was tough enough to continuously absorb Deku's blows.
When the Falcon protected New York from that city-destroying
okay.
blast,
So
it had
this
to-
is what I had a curious about. Was I don't know if Miles absorbs that attack, and it's because I knew that Miles could only take so much. This was experimented with the shock absorbers in My Hero Academia. All Might was able to punch the shock absorbing monster so hard 300 times in order for the shock absorption not to take effect. I feel like Deku could do this after a few hits, and Deku had more than a few hits on Miles. I don't know if the suit makes it possible for him to absorb more than what he can hold. I think I disagree with them on this. However, I have to acquiesce a little bit because I am not the Miles expert. I'm intermediate at best.
After all. So the question wasn't necessarily who was stronger, it was if Miles' suit was tough enough to continuously absorb Deku's blows.
When the Falcon protected New York from that city-destroying blast, it had a yield of 546 megatons. Impressive, but Deku defeating All for One was still over 600 times stronger than Vibranium's limit.
And
Yep.
Deku did that with One for All's embers, not the full package.
True.
Remember,
Yes.
the Vibranium in Miles' suit was much thinner than what Falcon and Black Panther had, making it unlikely it could absorb as strong of a blast.
That's what
It's
I was
there to
saying.
provide more protection, sure, but there was no way it could survive all of what Deku could dish out.
In this superpower
Okay, so how'd he live past that punch? Sometimes death battles, sometimes.
battle, it was
I
as
agree
if
with
his
them on like
overwhelming
80% of the battles, but I just like I don't agree with this one now. Like they talked me out. I was waiting for them to say that he just outlasted Deku and Deku ran out of the 5-minute time limit. But no, that's not the reason. I adamantly disagree. Okay.
speed and immense strength that made him the winning hero.
And the morales of the story is...
The winner is
Oh.
Deku.
That is so embarrassing. I won. I totally took the... Oh, I almost want to cut this, but I'm not. That's so embarrassing. When Deku stood up and said he was the ultimate, I took that for like saluting Miles. Okay, so Deku won. I was right. Oh, okay. I guess I need to see it again. I was right. Okay. My streak continues.
I moved us to an abandoned part of the city so we can go all out! Because I always do my best!
Okay, let's see this explosion again. I guess I didn't see Spider-Man, like, pass away. I thought it was weird that no one passed in this. Okay, so there's gear shift right there.
I gotta do my own thing.
So Deku has 5 minutes at this point to take out Spider-Man before the recoil. Where Deku barely could move. Now Deku would be able to black whip around, but it's not fast enough at that point by
Amazing is
itself.
my buddy. They call me the ultimate Spider-Man.
His suit has shock absorption, not nullification.
Okay, so that's exactly what I was saying about the Nomu and All Might's fight at the beginning. It has shock absorption, but not nullification. That's exactly the point I was making when I thought I lost.
Go beyond!
Okay, this was the attack I couldn't believe he absorbed. See, I mistook this as an absorption, not an explosion. So I was upset about an attack that I thought he couldn't absorb. And he ended up not absorbing it. He exploded. Wow. I took Deku standing up right here and go, "You're the ultimate," as in Deku emitting, like, defeat. And I was like, why didn't anyone die? Like...
Spider-Man, you really are the ultimate.
See, I thought he slammed Deku down after absorbing that, and I was like, how did he absorb that?
Let's start by talking about their superpowers.
And then during that little, like, death call that Broomstick did, I was talking in shock. So I probably was not, I didn't hear that. I feel so much like an idiot. here I am complaining about the battle, and they said exactly what I wanted them to say every single time, and they brought the point about the Nomu. Like I'm so sorry, guys. Boomstick, Wiz, I apologize. I agree with you on this battle, 100%.
Surroundings and threats than danger sense. Some advantages.
Incredibly talented.
And when they talked about skills at the end and stuff, again, I was trying to wrap my head around it, and I did. So, superpowers, I don't give them an even right here. I think Deku has the better superpowers. I do think Spider-Man is like 40-60 here. But not 50-50. Speed, Deku. See, my biggest factor in this fight was Spider-Man's speed. I did not know Miles' max speed. So if Deku couldn't catch him in 5 minutes, Deku was going to lose once he did gear shift. But again, the speed is totally in Deku's favor. I'm sure that's solid. I just don't know. Skill, I agree with them on skill. I think Spider-Man overall is more skillful. Yes. I don't think that matters in this fight. It's not where you have Deku is too powerful for skill to overcome, especially with the skill gap being what it is. I think Deku is just too powerful for that to overcome. Again, my biggest factor on thinking Spider-Man could take out a win, even though I chose Deku, and I believe Deku would actually win, was the speed right here. The thing that gave me pause was the glazing of Deku versus Spider-Man. I just feel like Spider-Man wasn't glazed that well. But that's what threw me off. That's what really threw me off. But again, speed was the biggest question mark. Strength, I would have went with Deku 1,000 times. So this is really close to what I would have given it to.
All of what Deku could dish out.
In this superpower battle, it was Izuku's overwhelming and immense strength that made him the winning hero.
And the morales of the story is...
The winner is Deku.
Next time on Death Battle.
Hopefully I'll pay more attention and I'll actually take my credits of, being right. So, again, I really thought they gave the victory to Spider-Man. So embarrassing. Okay, well, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a like. If you didn't, you can tell me why in the comments. Also, if you guys want me to do more, the more likes I get or the more people that watch the video, I am more interested in doing reactions like this. Thank you again, guys. Have a great night.